Hey, profs, welcome on in. My name's Rob Lightfoot, proud two-time alum of Rick Edelman College of Communication, class of 2001. This is Beyond the Brown and Gold.
I'm Jessica Kennedy. I'm the co-host here, also a two-time proud Rowan alum, class of 2008 from the Rick Edelman College of Communication and Creative Arts, and 2015 from the College of Education. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM presents Beyond the Brown and Gold, a show that highlights the lives and memories of Glassboro State and Rowan University alumni. Now, here are your hosts, Rob Lightfoot and Jessica Kennedy.
So, Jess, we have quite the amazing guest today.
Incredible,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you all fair that she was going to be great.
I know, but I just never know if you're telling the truth or
That's
not.
true. That's actually true with everything.
But you were right.
No, she's all over the place. She's one of my most favorite people to talk to all the time because she is super, super, super high energy.
Yes.
All the time. She's out and about. It's Keisha Stephenson Taylor, which is just fantastic. She's got a great background with us. Not only at the university, like she graduated, did some big things, but now she's back.
I know. She's involved in advisory board for the College of Education, which will be celebrating its centennial year as we celebrate the centennial year as a university. She has a BA in English from the institution and a Master of Arts in Higher Ed. I thought a fun fact was she was one of the first in that program, which I also graduated from, many years later. So I think that was a really neat thing as well. And she's doing everything.
Jess, I am so excited to introduce you today to one of the most highly energetic people that you'll ever meet in your life.
Yes, I know.
Keisha, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So Keisha is, if you're not following her on LinkedIn, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
She's just a good time to hang out with. We met, and we'll tell that story too, because that was just a fun little get together.
Yeah.
But so Keisha, tell us about sort of your show here, how you kind of got to the university, how you landed here at Rowan.
Wow. So, take us all the way back to 1994, right? I want to say this, that my parents always wanted me to be here. And I was fighting very hard not to be a Rowan grad. So we visited many campuses. And my parents, in particular, my father, said, this is a place for you to be. And of course, I always wanted to be a teacher. And he said, this is what Rowan does. So I was admitted to Rowan College of New Jersey.
Oh, that brief period of time.
That brief period, that transitional period. Then I went to Rowan and then Rowan University. So I graduated high school. I was accepted to Rowan. I was a part of the MLT program where we had students of color who came to the university who were not great test takers. That was me. And I had a summer experience here, absolutely fell in love with the campus, had the opportunity to have a few classes on campus, and I hit the ground running August 1994, and I don't think I looked back. So I was everywhere Rowan, doing all the things at Rowan, from being an RA as a sophomore to being an ambassador, so being a part of the orientation team, to staying on campus, being a part of paint crew and a summer RA, which was really awesome.
It's not like you to dive into everything.
I went right away.
Really took things slow.
Yeah, I was in school, right? Because that was the part of the experience.
You were taking classes, right?
I was taking classes. I was an English major, secondary education. So that was an incredible experience as well. For me, I think I had a perfect balance of being extremely busy, from being at the gym in the morning with the professors to, going to the 8 o'clock classes, which nobody really likes, but they're really helpful because, you get to start your day, and to all the campus activities. And so I was involved in student government. I was a part of the judicial hearing committee with our provost. So I did all the things here at Rowan that made it, a wonderful place to live and grow and develop, I think, a lot of the skills that I have today.
So your dad really wanted you to come here. Was he an alum? How did he know about the institution?
My parents are first-generation Americans. We're Jamaican. And he went to City College of New York. And my mom went to Long Island University in New York. I think what inspired my dad was really how I appeared on campus. All the other tours, I was like, yeah, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. When I came on this campus, it was like I couldn't hide my excitement of seeing myself here. He also was really impressed with the turn of events from a state teachers college, Glassboro State, to Rowan College of New Jersey. The whole idea of Henry Rowan, seeing great potential in this college, now university. My dad's an electrical engineer by trade. So, the connection with the College of Engineering, despite the fact that I'm no engineer, he was very, very excited about where he could see this school evolving to. And he still says, to this day, he was right.
Yeah.
And I have to agree, he was right. And I think till about 10 years ago, he was still wearing his Rowan dad orientation
That's very
t-shirt.
cool.
I was like, Dad,
He's
I think
still a Rowan dad.
he's still a Rowan dad, very proud. But I think today I might have to get him a new shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna
Yeah.
we'll take you to the bookstore after
Thank
this.
you.
You
I was
can
actually
get some
talking about
updated
that
stuff.
before.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you said you were working out with professors at the gym?
Yeah, I mean,
what professors? Can we put them out there?
listen. There were a slew of them, and most of them
Was
were,
this everybody that they recruited?
Well, in the morning, I just think because you could use the gym, and it was such a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go around 6:30, 6:45 before my 8 o'clock classes because I was like,
Ambitious.
well, I was like, here it is. We're paying for it. Let's, let's do everything. So I just remember a lot of office staff and a few of the professors in the area of science. Like, I didn't know them. They weren't my professors, but I knew they were professors because they were all talking as they were walking on the treadmill, the elliptical, about, the classes for the day. So I just felt very much like, I think I have a plan here. Get up early, get to the gym, get to class, and stay focused. So
And take the late classes too. You
Well,
had a very full day.
full day. So the 8 o'clock classes were great because then I could go and do all the student activities, and there were so many. I know there are even more now, but we had so many. So I was always in, the student halls and the offices, of course, because I was an RA. So I would always pop over there and pop up to the provost's office. So it was a great time. Good to be known on campus.
So all the activities you took that you took advantage of while here,
Yeah.
were those activities you were involved in high school?
Some of them. I was pretty involved in high school. I mean, the academic side, I was like, yeah, I'll get to that. I think I accelerated as my family reflects. I was in like AP English and AP History, and then the rest was like, whatever. So I think I took a few law classes too, and I had amazing high school experience. And so I did feel very prepared to be here. I just, didn't test that great. And what I felt again about now as an educator and looking back, the whole idea that there are no closed doors, there's always a way to get in and be where you want to be, where you think you should be, and where you really will thrive. And so I was involved in high school. I was a swimmer. I was in student government. I led a few clubs, culture clubs. And I also, because this is my retirement plan, I also was the person who was an ambassador for our theater program. So I would hand out the flyers and programs and go to all the different, musicals. And then we had a winter show and we had dance shows. So I thought about that in high school, like, this is good practice for like when I retire. So I kind of
You
know
were really planning ahead.
planning ahead. Yes.
Did you find yourself any professors or mentors while you were here that kind of shaped your student experience?
So many. I mean, so many. And I would start with, Bill Myers. Wow. Like, what a force. What a great man. I also got to hang out a lot with Dr. James and his son. So that was fun. Marguerite Stubbs. Just, wow. I mean, I would be her like little shadow, and she was all dialed in for it, and it was great. For a long time, I wanted to actually have that role in higher ed. So I did my master's here. Well, we'll get to that. And then also George Brailsford. He was, at the time, director of residence life. So there were many. I also, because, I like to stay busy on campus, I also had a job, aside from being an RA, in the controller's office. So if you go all the way back to, I worked for John Carroll. He was the controller at the time. And I have to say that his assistant, Marguerite Carbonaro Davy, was and is still a very good friend of mine. Like, I helped her plan her wedding.
Wow.
I just saw her, a few months ago. And her husband, Jim Davy, he worked in security. And what makes them so special is that because I was 2 hours away, I would go over to Marguerite and Jim's house on Sundays for like Sunday dinner.
Oh, what were they making? What were they
Oh,
cooking?
meatballs, like Italian, just
Love it.
great,
Love
amazing Italian food. And they just had a really big, loving family. And those are just remarkable experiences that when I wrote my essay, because I am a good writer, thank you, English department at Rowan University, I wrote about Spencer Holland, and just his connection, to this place where he went. And I had that and more, in terms of my experience. And so they're the people who are, of course, on the stage that we see all the time, and then the people who are helping keep us safe and helping assist in those offices of, money is important, right? Just those people were just so impactful of how I want to be and how I have been and continue to be in terms of, giving back and helping and being a mentor informally and formally, because I had so many here. It was great. And so 1998 came very quickly, and I was like not really ready to go.
I was just going to say, like, you were so involved. What was it like to prepare for the fact that you weren't going to be here?
Well, I decided to be here. So in 1997, I was like, I need to go to graduate school. I think I want to go into higher education. Look at this amazing experience that I've had. And my parents were like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, we thought you were just going to be a teacher. And I was like, well, yeah, maybe that too. But so I applied to graduate school, and I applied to be a, hall director, because I knew so much about residence life, having the experience. And I saw the graduate students that we had here. And so the windup is I got into some pretty incredible graduate schools. One, I was very prepared in college after knowing that I belong here and I'm here. I accelerated in all my classes. I did well. And I decided, when I was applying to graduate school, to apply to a few different places. The bottom line is that the best gift was that at that time, Rowan decided to start a higher ed administration program. So I was the part of the first cohort in the fall 1998. So it just kind of went along with the brand, innovating, trend setting, going full speed ahead, Rowan University. So I enrolled in that graduate program.
I'm a fellow grad from that program.
Yes, she is.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
So it was such a great program.
Yeah. So it really was. And so I did that for a year, and I really enjoyed it. And then during the first year of graduate school, that calling to go into education, high school teaching, really came back, and kind of the bug bit me a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I decided that I would apply for a teaching position and still continue my graduate degree. So I did the hall director thing for a year, and then I started teaching high school the second year of my graduate program.
How did you do that?
I like challenges. I think that's...
And where was that?
So I started my teaching career in Pemberton Township, Burlington County. I was in the middle school in a sub position. Someone was on parental leave.
You has a challenge now.
And 7th grade English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Middle school
sure.
kids are
Oh my
quite
gosh.
unique. Didn't you love them though? Because I used to, in my old job, I worked with
them.
kids at that age, and I was like, these kids get a bad rap at this age, but they're great.
They are great. They are great. The one thing that I think that has transcended, as a teacher for me is meeting people where they are and building the relationship. And I think once I did that, it was great. Mm-hmm. And so I was there for 3 months, and that teacher was coming back, and they, turned to me and said, listen, we have a lot of overcrowded classes at the high school. We want you to go to the high school. So I went on to the high school. I'm still in grad school, finishing up my thesis and all of that. And so it was really awesome to, finish graduate school in 2000 and finish my first year of teaching all in the same year.
What an accomplishment. How long did you teach at the high school for?
So I taught at the high school. I was there almost 8 years. And I taught women writers, 19th and 20th century, as a first-year teacher. The students were not that
into it.
One, into it, and two, they weren't that much younger than me, so that was a little awkward, but we worked through it. And then I taught 10th grade American literature and world literature for 11th grade. So it was great. I had a lot of opportunities in Pemberton Township. And again, the College of Education, back to my roots here, I was very prepared to take on those challenges, and not only in my content area, but also being a part of the school community. And so I did participate in a lot. I was a class advisor. I'm sure you're not shocked.
Wait, you got involved?
I got involved.
Shocking.
What do you hear? There's even more.
Yeah, I know. So, as a class advisor, that was amazing. And as a club advisor at the school, it was pretty awesome. And then just supporting the different fundraisers that the school community got involved in. And then I had an opportunity, I think I was teaching 3 years or so, to be a teacher on special assignment and help with redesigning our high school. And so that was a pretty incredible opportunity. And so I was a school facilitator. And so the facilitator was responsible for thinking about and thinking through how to improve professional development opportunities for teachers on the job. And so I would do lunch and learns with the teachers and provide them with articles to read and go into the classrooms and help with coaching. So I really, really like that. I guess, when I left graduate school in 2000, the question was like, when are you going to go and get your doctorate, right? And so super high performing parents' expectations. So there's that.
So did they expect you to get your doctorate as well?
Yeah, they had aspirations for me. Yes. And I was excited about it too.
And your sister, or no? Your sister, not so many aspirations for her?
Both. I have two sisters, and they're super rock stars.
Okay.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
No.
Tell us about that.
Okay. Yeah, they're rock stars too. So my middle sister, Moniece, Judge Brown. She's a judge in Charles County, Maryland. And my younger sister, Allison, is a master's prepared nurse, and she's an ICU nurse educator.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really underachievers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Unbelievably
yeah,
lazy.
no. Yeah. we rest sometimes, but yeah, no, all the expectations for everyone. Yeah, no stone unturned in the Stephenson household. So yeah, as my father likes to say, he wanted 3 girls who could take care of themselves and, be in charge of what they needed to be in charge of. So
Well,
My dad
I can
says the
speak to
same.
one. I can speak to one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so far, so good.
My dad always says the same thing. He wanted to raise independent kids, and now he looks at my husband and he says, "I'm so sorry."
Right.
Because she's so
Right.
too independent.
Right.
Yeah.
He's had that conversation with my husband
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Like, Mark, I'm sorry, but this is the
is
goal.
what I wanted. Yeah,
this is the
exactly.
goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So anyway, so I was in my doctoral program. I was a teacher on a special assignment, helping, to again think about professional development in a multitude of ways. And so, it was a great environment to work in. And I stayed there. I was able to accomplish finishing my doctorate. I should also say that while I was building and climbing, I was also building and developing my family. And so when I graduated with my doctorate at 29, it was 2006, and I had a 2 and a 4-year-old.
True.
So
I have a 2 and a 4-year-old now, and I can barely function. So that is super impressive.
So there's some late nights there, and really, my husband is, when people talk about like who's made for who, like he was made for me, because there was no way I was going to be able to accomplish any of that, teaching and obviously parenting, and also just tending to the regular family activities and with my friends, and my friends are very important to me. So, I mean, all facets. I was on like 10 all the time.
Yeah.
And I probably...
I was going to say.
Still on 10.
Yeah. So, but really feeling fulfilled and really happy.
And Mark's in education, too.
Mark is in education. He works at Camden County College.
Is that how you all met?
Well, I met him.
I love a good love story.
Oh, a love story. Thank you. Yeah, these are good questions. I met him through my mentor teacher.
Okay.
So I go from the middle school to the high school. Some of the teachers were a little possessive of their rooms, but one teacher, Paula Beatty, now Aunt Paula Beatty, shared a room. And she was my mentor, through the mentoring program when you're a new teacher. And she would tell me, like, there are things that we don't do. We don't sit in the teacher's lounge all the time. We only go in, stay a few minutes, warm your food. You go to your room. You go somewhere else. You don't want to be in this place or that place. So she was a great coach. So while we were eating lunch in our shared classroom, she told me about her nephew, who had just moved from Columbus, Ohio, And he was a teacher in Philadelphia at the time. And so I was like, oh boy, oh my, okay.
Was she telling you as like, you should? Or were
She
you
was
like, hey, that sounds interesting?
She's like, he wears bow ties to church and you would have a lot to talk about.
Oh,
Look at her selling.
I know. A little matchmaker on the side.
And it worked. He called me. I called him back. There was a little banter there. And I met him February 5th, 2000. And that was it.
When did you get married?
17 months after we met.
You know, you know.
And when you know, you know. And I just told this story to another. It was in an interview. And I said, and my parents met and got married after 17 months. So there's something there.
Yeah,
So,
it worked out.
It worked out. Yeah, my parents just celebrated 47 years.
Wow.
of
Congratulations to them.
marriage.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So, and I'm on 22.
So the family expands, and then your 2 sons,
My 2 sons.
Oh, she's
gosh.
glowing.
Yeah, those boys.
and they're one's at Widener, as I remember,
Yes,
and
so-
the one's at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, look at you.
It was in there. It was in there
Remember?
somewhere.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. That is exactly correct. So Carter Joseph, their middle names are my dad's name.
Love
my,
it.
of course. So Carter Joseph is at Widener. He's a rising senior, which, oh my goodness. And then Corbin Joseph is now a rising sophomore at Virginia Tech. Yeah.
And they're both home now.
They are both home, which is interesting because
They're grown up.
They're grown up. They leave a lot of lights on. So gentlemen, turn the lights off, okay? But yeah, it's so nice to have them home. They're, Carter has an internship. So, he's doing that. Corbin is taking 3 classes. So there's that. And he's going to be working. And he's like, I'm just going to stay another summer like with retail, Mom, because, I have 3 classes. I'm like, it's okay. It's all good. And of course, there's going to be a lot of shore time.
Yes.
A lot of great adventure because when they were little and I was traveling for work, my husband always had a season pass to take. It was just the 3 of them. So they both really love great adventure. So there'll be a lot of shore time.
That's by like my parts.
Right.
Yep.
That's right. We'll sneak away to Ocean City, Maryland. We love it there. The latter part of July.
And then remind us, what are they studying?
Oh, so Carter, right? Because they're at school for things, right?
No, because
I
she
just
was
wanna
like,
see
I
if there's
guess
an
I'll get to the academics later. Take after
Is there an
mama.
education bubble in there anyway,
They
like
are
mom and
not.
dad?
They are not. No, they're not interested in that at all. So Carter's a biology major, minor in psychology. He was interested at first. He's also class of 2020, so we all know what happened there.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a physical therapist, but decided that he's really actually interested in sales. So he's, I think, taking the sales route and thinking about medical or pharma. So this summer, his internship is related to sales, which will be interesting. He's also very involved at his school. He was, involved in his fraternity, and he's a class senator. He started a Students of Color biology, health science club. So super proud of his accomplishments. Very active on campus. I'm really happy about that. He's always on the university's TikTok, which is really cool too.
See, we got to. We're on there.
Yeah.
we're on there.
You are.
Well,
Apparently.
no, you're on there too.
Oh, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
And then my youngest is he's an engineering information systems engineering major, and he's very involved in the engineering association right now. I mean, he's getting his feet wet, so we'll see what he does next year. And he's also been tutoring, which is really awesome.
As a mom of 2 little boys, 2 and 4, tell me the secret. How do I raise gentlemen that are your son's age that are still mama's boys but are independent? Rob's always shaking his head. So I'm like, I gotta keep them forever. I gotta make them love me forever. What's the secret? Tell me.
I don't know if there's a secret, but I will tell you this. Dinner time is really important. One-on-one time is really important. Being able to give good, constructive feedback and keeping it really real, even if it hurts you a little bit, because it's going to hurt you more than it hurts them.
And then Keisha, so where your career trajectory took you to
Yeah.
postdoctor? Where'd you go?
Yeah, so when I left Pemberton Township, I left in like 2007, and I had a great opportunity to be a curriculum supervisor in Central New Jersey, and so I took that opportunity.
I still don't know if it exists.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
Well, Plainfield Public Schools.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of central. Yeah, so I did that for a year as a supervisor of professional development, which was great. Those large districts have lots of reorg. So I found myself in a situation where I got another opportunity. And I think part of it was because I was also still presenting nationally state and nationally with a couple organizations. And so I was at a conference, and they were like, come to New Brunswick. So I'm like, that's
okay.
And I'm not like leaving Burlington County. I'm happy here, so this is a little closer to home. So I went to New Brunswick for a year. And really, when I was at New Brunswick, I was a supervisor of language arts, which I loved. We, had the ability to adopt a new textbook, which is like months of vetting, really exciting opportunities there. I thought about how could I help redesign high schools from the outside in, and thinking about community stakeholders. And it was a lot, of course, of what I learned in graduate school, but also what I was seeing from, 3 different districts and urban centers. And despite Pemberton being in a rural community, it still had some urban challenges from being connected to, the military and some historical pieces. And so I had the opportunity to work with a group from Brown University, the Education Alliance, then became the Center for Secondary School Redesign. And so for, 4 years, I spent time going around the country as a subject matter expert helping to redesign high schools that had Department of Labor and Department of Education school improvement grant funds. So for some places that were persistently dangerous to places that were in need of improvement, and working with school teams from superintendents and boards to advisory groups for the school district, and of course teachers, but most importantly students. And so going from the West Coast to the East Coast and up and down, I got to see a lot of places and meet a lot of people and really, I feel like be helpful. And then, of course, because I was doing all that traveling, I met some other amazing people, and they told me about the nonprofit that I work at right now, called NAF, formerly the National Academy Foundation. And we've been around 40 years, and we help kids think about college and career. So I felt like going to NAF after having this national experience made a lot of sense about improving the trajectory for young people, especially through career technical education, where you get the opportunity to have, internship preparation, work-related, job-embedded skills alongside your high school experience. And it's not just for what we traditionally call vocational schools. Yeah. It's really about kids really thinking about how they apply in a project-based way what they're learning in science and history, to IT and engineering, because we know that these are not in silos. They're all really connected, and making that opportunity for students even more apparent in high school. So they're more informed post-high school what they're thinking about. And I think that's what we talked about when I first met you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about that. That's a good segue. So there's this great event that happens every summer, I guess it does?
Yeah, Day on the Delaware.
So Day on the Delaware takes...
Day on the
Delaware, okay, right? It's on the Spirit of Philadelphia.
Yes.
And so it was my first day on the Delaware. So I come up the plank with the ship captain, give him the aye. I step in, and I'm maybe in there 5-10 minutes. And Keisha's there. She's holding court because everybody kind of just like, she's one of those people that like all the energy just flocks to her. And she says, "Oh, we're used to seeing a different Bob from Rowan University. Who are you?" Because they're used to seeing Bob Ballard. And I said, "Well, he's on his way, but I'm Rob from the advancement office, blah, 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 blah." And we get talking. And she's, "Wait, what do you do?" And I say, "I connect folks for scholarship opportunities or philanthropic support at the university." And she goes, "I need to do that. Let's talk." And then instantly we took a picture together. We were on social together. And the next thing you know.
So you wish it was always that easy,
It was
Rob?
always that easy. But she's so invested in it, and it was great. And then we just made this great connection. Then she introduced me to a bunch of other folks on this. So it was a great opportunity when we first met. And now, so let's use that as an opportunity to transition to what do you do outside of these NAF hours?
Oh, my goodness.
And your connection with the commerce.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So the NAF got involved. I thought it would be a good opportunity, again, to think about building workforce relationships in the Southern New Jersey region. So in 2018, we joined the South Jersey Chamber of Commerce, Southern New Jersey, CCSNJ, because there are many chambers, but this is the chamber for me. And it's actually celebrating 150 years, right? Good. So one of the oldest chambers in the country. And so I increasingly, from 2018, got more involved. And in 2021, I became an ambassador. And an ambassador for the chamber welcomes new businesses into the chamber. And I really like making connections. One, I think it's so invaluable for people to build their network, but also to find like-minded opportunities to be philanthropic, share time, fundraise or volunteer. And those are really important pieces, because I do think that nonprofits are like the heartbeat of a community. And so what we do at the Chamber, we have nonprofits, we have businesses, and then there are a lot of businesses that have many areas of specialty and focus. And so just making those connections for people is exciting for me. So I was an ambassador. Now I'm the ambassador chair. I was nominated last June. So that's exciting. It means I get to help create agendas and attend more meetings. But
just what you need.
Yeah, just what I love, actually. And so I got involved locally with Perkins Center for the Arts, which has a building in Collingswood right next to Camden and in Morristown. And so we serve a variety of community members. And I joined the board in September 2022, with the hopes of expanding class opportunities and access for more people to take classes and participate in camps and programming there. So that's been exciting. So I serve on that board. I've been a member and a board member of Learning Forward New Jersey, which is about professional development and lifting up the professional development principles and practices from the national network to the state affiliation. So I've been a board member there for a while. So I enjoy that because it keeps me tied to my New Jersey teachers and principals and superintendents. And then I also, more recently, October, was appointed to a board which is in Brighton, Massachusetts, right next to Boston, called Brighton Marine. And it's a campus that provides housing and many levels of support for our veterans. And so I'm very much interested in how I can help the BMI team and community, really become a national model. And so the newest board directors they're national. They're not right there in Brighton. And so I got this wonderful opportunity to be a part of that board. So that's exciting. And a couple other things are on deck. Most recently, though, I was, Rob, I think, had some doing with this, but
I volunteered for something.
Yes.
She had 5 minutes of our calendar open, and I said, let's bring her in.
Yeah. I'm a part of the newest member of the advisory group for the College of Education here at Rowan University. Yeah. Yes. So,
what a perfect fit for you.
Exciting.
Right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I'm excited, and it's such an esteemed group. So I feel really honored. And we had our meeting last week. And of course, I was in New York City for my day job because we had our annual gala that night. But I got to participate virtually. And I'm just so impressed at what's happening, what's to come, and really being a part of it. And so those are my volunteer activities to date.
But it could change.
Now, what do you do to relax? Are these things relaxing for you?
Mostly. I am a member of Spavia, which is, right? You get monthly spa treatments.
I like it.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's in Morristown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right by the mall. So it also is very helpful to go there and then go to happy hour.
Okay, good.
Or lunch.
Yeah.
And I do that with a few of my friends. I participate in my mother's book club because she's like, I'm not a reader. So I was like, I'll help you because that's the teacher in me. Like, we'll get through it. We'll talk about the book.
Oh, fiction books?
They do mostly fiction.
Any good recommendations right now?
Oh my gosh, there's so many good books out right now. I just really, really love this one book I just read. The Incredible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm learning to play golf, which is it's challenging. I'm left-handed, so this is even a greater challenge. So I'm working on that. My husband's a very good athlete just in general, and he's a good golfer. So I think he gets a little impatient with me at the driving range, but we do that together. So that's good. And I like the beach. I do like a good live band. So
you and Rob have that in common.
I love live music. And so you will find me, if there's an outdoor venue and live music on Friday, there. By 5 o'clock, I'm there.
So Keisha, and being on the advisory board now with the College of Education, also has a scholarship with us. And we got to meet the first recipient of that scholarship last year, who was just an incredible young man. Incredible young man who wrote a beautiful letter that is framed in my office. Oh, very cool. Because when we talk about the reasons why, we can always, our family, they're the reasons why that we do what we do. But that young man, he's definitely one of my reasons why. And so I just want to make more money so I can give more to
young people with that type of, one, commitment to their education, to overcoming adversity and challenges and excelling. That's the other part. Like, you're not just overcoming, you're like excelling and doing it. And really, when we're faced with that uphill battle, like, how do we do it? And he was doing it.
It was
He
an incredible
is doing
story.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's framed.
That's great.
I did make my children read it. Like,
Good.
do you see? This is how this is important.
Yeah.
So, when I can't pay for like sushi because I'm doing this other thing.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
At 21, they should really be paying for their own sushi anyway.
Yeah.
So.
That part. Yeah.
Well, so thanks so much for taking time with us.
Thank you for thinking about me. Anything that I can do to advance, the work we're doing here at Rowan, I'm all dialed in. I'm super excited to be a part of the community and to have the experience that I've had. And I think that that's what we're really made here for and what we're doing. And I just want to, continue to see the good work forward.
Rob, I love having a lady in here that has children and has done stuff, because I think it's difficult to manage all of those identities that we hold. And I'm just so inspired by Dr. Stephenson Taylor and all that she's done and is still doing.
Rock star.
Yeah. Are you tired? Because just listening to everything that she does.
Said, you've got to follow her on LinkedIn. If you're not following her on LinkedIn, because she does all these, in addition to her work and her 9 to 5, she's got her Chamber of Commerce events that she's doing all the time. So she's always out and about. So she's a great follow on LinkedIn if you're not following her just yet.
I'm connecting with her like immediately as we stop recording. I'm going to connect with her on LinkedIn, follow along to her adventures, and just continue to be inspired in the ways that she gives back to her communities and her profession, and now Rowan University. Well, we had a really great time, and we're looking forward to having more alums on Beyond the Brown and Gold.
You've been listening to Beyond the Brown and Gold on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. You can find more episodes on your favorite podcasting platforms by searching for Beyond the Brown and Gold or Rowan Radio On Demand.